Jumping to conclusions about strange sounding names is what I did when I first heard about forest bathing. My friend Tony, who I respect a lot, told me that he once heard of something called strawberry pizza, and it immediately disgusted him at the thought of putting strawberries on pizza. It was only later that he learned that it's a dessert. It's just in the shape of a pizza. Yeah, forest bathing does not mean stripping down naked and rolling around in the ferns and the dirt of the forest floor, taking a wash tub out full of water into the woods, stripping down naked and taking a bath in the forest. So at least tell me how it works, right? All right, I will. But before I do, I want you to tell me, what do you think about all this? Is this a bunch of hippy-dippy crap, or does this make sense to you? Sound like a bunch of wellness, touchy-feely stuff that doesn't make any sense? Or are you starting to think maybe there's something to this? So where did all this come from? Probably some hippy-dippy wellness nonsense, right? Believe it or not, it was actually the Japanese government that coined the term in response to like stressful situations and poor health of their urban communities. The Japanese Ministry of Agriculture and blah, 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 and blah, 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 coined this term Shinrin-yoku in 1982 and started to promote this idea of going out in the forest and spending time in the woods and absorbing what you can from being around nature. Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, is a Japanese practice in which you basically immerse yourself in a nature situation. Typically it's a forest. And the idea is that this promotes mental well-being and a sense of health and reduces stress. It's the same kind of stuff we always talk about, but the Japanese have kind of codified it into a practice. And the idea is you're, walking slowly through an area, breathing in the smells, seeing the sights, and lowering your stress, lowering your cortisol, lowering your, all the negative aspects of your emotions, basically. And you don't have to get naked. In fact, it's probably better if you don't. All right, so here's what's happening to your body during all this time. Hello, butterfly. This is what they say is happening. When we're immersed in a forest environment, individuals inhale phytoncides. Am I saying that right? Phytoncides. These are organic compounds that are emitted by trees, such as alpha-pinene and limonene. Obviously, I can't remember all this. Yes, I wrote it down. I don't want to forget something, which studies suggest can enhance immune function by increasing natural killer cell activity, NK cell activity, reducing stress hormones like cortisol. This is supported by research such as Dr. King Lee's studies. He's one of the guys from the original government setup that invented this whole forest bathing thing. He says that this shows measurable decreases in blood pressure and heart rate. Psychologically, it engages a parasympathetic nervous system through mindful sensory interaction with natural elements, sights of greenery, sounds of birds, scent of wood. All of this promotes relaxation and reduces mental fatigue. The biophilia hypothesis also suggests that humans have an innate connection to nature, which Shinrin-yoku taps into, fostering emotional restoration and cognitive clarity. These combined effects create a holistic sense of well-being. So it's not exercise focused, and it's not education focused. You're not there to try and identify certain birds. You're not there to try and identify species of trees. You're just there to focus on the surroundings and sort of enjoy the nature that you find yourself in. Would you mind giving me just a quick 15 seconds to tell you something about this channel? This is not some Instagram influencer, travel to a million places and make pretty pictures of my pretty face type channel. I'm just a regular guy who goes out to nature to get my brain unscrambled from the chaos, and I try to take you along with me in the hopes that maybe you'll try too. That's it. Well, a lot of people have questions about this, and I looked up some of the questions that people frequently ask. A lot of people want to know, how long does it take before I start to see the effects of this? How long do I have to do it before I start to see results? Another question a lot of people have is, does it require a guide? Can I do this by myself, or do I have to hire some Shinrin-yoku expert to take me on a guided forest bathing experience? And a lot of critics also point out the problem of accessibility. Where I live, I can just get on Google Maps and look for green text, and I will invariably find some natural preserve or green space or park that I've never been to and didn't even know existed. That's where I am today. I just saw this green text on the map and I said, what's that? And I drove to it. I think more importantly is that now you've heard of Shinrin-yoku, you've heard of forest bathing. It's not quite as hippy-dippy as we thought. You can go do some reading and find out whether or not that's something you want to try. I got to tell you, after spending an hour and a half out here at this park, nature preserve, whatever it's called, I'm feeling mentally cleansed. But give it a try, see what you think. Love to hear what you think about forest bathing, but more importantly, I'd like to hear that you gave it a try.